Two Queers and a Truck. And I'm Billy James Gunn, and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner with Gunn, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon.
Good morning, everybody. It's Two Queers in a Truck time, and it's November 26th. So I guess that we've been Thanksgiving Eve tuning to this when we first dropped the recording. But this is Christian, me, and Two Queers in a Truck live from Hollywood. Live. Recorded several weeks ago.
You're alive in West Hollywood, so I guess that's
right. The definition of is,
that's right.
But we'll jump right into it. Obviously, we'll talk about the 2025 regional elections across the country and what they may mean, they might not mean. Who knows what impact it's really going to have a year from now. And we did really well in the off-year elections in 2017. And we did fairly well in the 2018 elections, if people remember back that far, which hasn't been that long, but for a lot of people, it feels like ancient history because we're about pre-COVID years. But 2017 won a lot of the same elections we won this year. We won that year. We won Virginia. I think we won New Jersey. There was a bunch of talk, that this was a very anti-Trump message. And in 2018, we took that House. We didn't take the Senate. And we spent a couple of years battling with Trump and locking Trump up in a split Congress. And my question is, we won a lot a couple weeks ago, but so what? What did it accomplish? What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do as a political party and a political force going forward? My fear is, and this is always my fear, is will it reform our party? I'm not worried about reforming the Republican Party because they have no ethics. They have no low. There's no amount. There's no low they won't stoop to. What are we going to do about it? And is the Democrat Party itself going to grow from this? Or is this a trend because we're going to start seeing Mandami, super progressive candidates actually run for a party, or was it just a blip on the radar? Is it just saying that people are pissed off? Congress will shut down. A lot of fear mongering, a lot of things that we should be legitimately afraid of. But we knew these things were going to happen when we let Trump get elected again. We knowingly knew he was going to step up these ICE raids. We knew all the things that are happened this year, we knew he was going to do. He said he was going to do it. There was a 900-page manifesto called Project 2025 that spelled all this out. They're going line by line, page by page, and following this out, and it didn't affect the election. In fact, it was the usual. Black woman runs for office against a white man, loses. So what are we all of a sudden in 2025 are we a better country? Do we have a level of ethics that we didn't have in 2024. And I'm not trying to throw cold water on our results, but so what? We've won these things before when Trump was in office the first time. And what did we do with it? Remember the Now Dead Women's Movement and the Women's March? Because I'm going to allude to this statement later on and proving my point. Have things really changed? Have we really progressed? Is this just another performative movement? Is this another performative movement on the liberal progressive side? And are we really going to have the staying power this time? Are we really going to do something about this momentum that we have? And is it even momentum? And I challenge, we elected Obama in 2008 and 2012 pretty much for no reason. And we've talked a good game, and we've talked about audacity, hope, and a bunch of things. And in the same way, we elected Bill Clinton twice, and he fundamentally changed the country over 2 terms, only to give way to a war criminal like George W. Bush, and now the deceased Dick Cheney, which was really nice to say. May he rest in peace. They spent us into oblivion. The Bush-Cheney administration did. They spent $8 trillion of our money, trillion with a T. It's 8,000 billions. And obliterated our country and obliterated our reputation around the world. And probably has a lot to do with why Russia felt like they could just go into the Ukraine. Putin even quoted that several years ago. Speaking of that, there is a gay New York City councilman that just filed this week the paperwork to run against Hakeem Jeffries, also a Democrat, in the primary. He is in the same mold as Mondami, but a lot of Democrats saying don't run against Jeffries on a lot of reasons why. They want him to stay on the city council to help them in the fight to reform New York City, which is going to be a big challenge. New York City is a massive city with a massive bureaucracy. They're going to have their hands full, and they don't really want to lose that city councilman and take the chance of him not being available for this upcoming fight this next year. But on top of it, they don't think he's not. They're not. There's probably a lot of people saying they don't necessarily think they can beat Hakeem Jeffries. He won 75% of the vote the last time he ran in 2024. He's a very, very powerful. He's the House Minority Leader. If we win the House back in 2026, he's the presumptive going to be the Speaker of the House, most likely our nominee. He's taking on somebody that has the potential to be the next Speaker of the House and one of the most powerful Democrats in the nation. And he's 27 years old, gay, and black, which are not bad things, but he's wildly progressive. Is that going to resonate in the district? Is that because it's not like Hakeem's a moderate or conservative, but is our party tear each other apart? Is it a good thing that he's running? As a Generation Z, a very, very young man that could be in one of the most powerful districts and one of the most pivotal elections for the Democrat Party if he were to unseat Hakeem in the spring. It would send shockwaves. But is this what the Democrat Party needs? Do we need to have some of our sacred cows seated before they become sacred cows? Do we take out our own now and bring in the next generations now in certain instances? Do we reform ourselves by doing things like this? Or do we allow party elders to tell this guy not to run? Probably not going to win. But it's interesting that he's choosing to challenge Hakeem. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the right answer is. I do think he deserves a shot. I do think he deserves a shot to be able to run. I don't agree with party leadership and saying, oh, don't run. And then we all tell people, the younger generation, run, get involved and all this. And then when this guy's thinking about unseating this guy, and he's a long shot, I don't think he can win, but let him run. I think competition's good. I think Hakeem's got the resume and the wherewithal to probably obliterate him in the primary, but it isn't a bad thing that he's getting challenged. I mean, he shouldn't just be able to lay up. Let's see if he's strong enough to be able to, because that'll let us know if he's strong enough to lead. I think either way, I think it's a win-win. I think either Hakeem's got to be considered an also-ran, wasn't fit to lead, or he vanquishes this young upstart and proves that he belongs in the speaker's seat. Steel sharpens steel. But we're up against our first break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers and a Truck after these important messages.
Hey everybody, you can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers and a Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye, boo. Happy Pride.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening to Two Queers and a Truck. And we do broadcast on YouTube and Facebook in a video version. And we're also on all the audio platforms out there. So your favorite way to listen to your podcast. We've been doing this for a couple years, and we appreciate y'all listening. We know you have a ton of choices, even though we may be the best choice. We always appreciate our listeners, and we'll try to bring you quality in the future. Thanks for listening. As always, Christian and Jenny, we're out. Thank y'all. But we are back. But I want to talk about election reform and ethics. Because in this era of Trump, where all bets are off and ethics went out the window 10 years ago when we started letting this fool run, when we knew he was linked to Epstein, we knew he, the Billy Bush thing where he grabs people by the, and all, we knew all this. This is something in this era of now, the Senate's trying to pass a bill for the disclosure of the Epstein, and we're in this era of, oh, this is so terrible. Well, we've known this for a while. The things swirling about Trump, about the way he treats women and how he talks to women and how he's cheated on every wife and all this. None of those ethical questions ever mattered before. So why do they matter now? And the reason why I'm saying this is this time to have the talks about election reform? Do we need term limits? Do we need to make sure presidents can only win office one time? Do we need just one-term presidents? Do we need to limit House and Senate members to 6 years of serving each? Should we limit the Supreme Court? Do we? And I'm bringing this up for a lot of reasons. One, because Nancy Pelosi is retiring. She's not running in 2026 for re-election for her House seat, and she's been in the U.S. House of Representatives for decades. Bernie Sanders has been in the Senate and in Congress for decades. Joe Biden was in the Congress for decades before he became vice president and president. And some of these people are more like royalty. Some of these people are in their jobs in my opinion, too long. Because there's a certain point where you just get rubber stamped over and over. And I'm going to bring it up because of the Hakeem Jeffries race where this upstart, this guy OC filed paperwork. And I'm wondering if we don't allow younger people to run and challenge us, then maybe we should have a system where nobody's in office too long. The American system needs to be reformed in a lot of ways, and there is a lot of need for reform. When we talk about registering to vote, how some states can throw people off the dole. There's so many things surrounding elections, potential election fraud in so many ways, and so much need for term limits and limiting politicians on what they can and cannot do. Because even if you set term limits for Congress, many of these people start on the local or state level, and then they usually run for Congress, and then some of them end up running for president. But usually by the time you run for president, you've had a 20 to 40-year career in politics or something that qualifies you to run for president. And I don't think necessarily term limits are that bad of a thing, because I think what it does is it refreshes and gives you new ideas. And Hakeem Jeffries first got elected in 2012. Is it time to start challenging this? And if we can't do what is ethically right, and we can't, government office or elected office should be a passing thing in your life, that you shouldn't be in one job too long. Whether it's mayor, whether it's the state house, whether it's national office, appointed office, can you be in an office too long? Because we all know, and it won't be shocking if Trump is still alive in 2028, what makes us think he's not going to run again for third term? What makes us think he's not going to? He's broken every other rule. He's flaunted the deal. He's made sure the SCOTUS said he has immunity. What makes us think he's going to follow the Constitution? Just because presidents have term limits doesn't mean he's going to follow that either. It brings me to another subject, a fourth subject. Over the weekend, reporters have been asking him about the Epstein files and that sort of thing. And a reporter from the Bloomberg News asked him about it on Air Force One, and he looks at the female reporter, goes, quiet piggy. Now, obviously, an American president talking to a female reporter, any reporter, but especially a female reporter, we fired George Herbert Walker Bush in 1982 for his no new taxes pledge. And he said many times, read my lips, no new taxes. And some new luxury taxes kind of put us in a mini recession in 1992. It was one of the big reasons why Bill Clinton won. And that was just a minor. Presidents say stuff like that all the time and people blow it off, but it was something that was held against him, and rightfully so. People spoke, and they were sick of Reagan Bush. I mean, they'd been in office for 12 years. Flashback now to 2025, and we've got an American president that does what he wants and does what he wants at any time. There's no rule of law, there's no ethics, there's nothing keeping him from just having he has the impulse control of a sugared up 3-year-old. like literally whatever he wants to do, he literally would just pull his pants and just take a dump in the middle of a press conference. So it wouldn't shock me. It just like this guy has no boundaries whatsoever. So does it surprise us that he would talk to a reporter like that? And in a new cycle of craziness about Epstein files and potential sex between him and Bill Clinton and just all these crazy things and all those things swerving and government shutdowns and just you think about the news cycle this fall and Charlie Kirk got shot and killed just back in September. More quickly I left the news cycle. And we just look at what's going on in the dumpster fire that is American politics. And the fact that he, this week too, also hosted a conference from Saudi Arabia that had a journalist chopped up. And they had jet fighter fly over for this guy and Marines and police and this escort for this. He's not even the head of the state of Saudi Arabia, but he was treated like some kind of a hero, even though he was a small part of brokering the supposed peace in Palestine and Israel. But we all know that he does business deals with the same crown prince, and that his son-in-law has accepted a lot of money from this crown prince. And at the end of the day, this quite picky line is going to be swept under the rug, and an American president talk to a female reporter like that. And it's not going to be that big of a deal. And I'm kind of shocked, but I'm not. We all know the kid diddler. We all know that he's assaulted women, grown women, and children, girls. But he keeps being elected. People aren't even blinking an eye. Even Republicans. We got Megyn Kelly saying a 15-year-old girl is a woman, a young woman. I think she's got a 13-year-old daughter, by the way. A 15-year-old girl is a girl. Ethically, morally, and legally. But then again, our Republicans keep child brides laws in place that a 15-year-old girl can get married with consent of the parents. That's alive and well in the United States. In fact, most states, it's illegal to marry a girl. Notice that there isn't any child grooms out there. That there isn't any 14 or 15-year-old boys marrying 30-year-old women. In fact, they usually send those women to prison for pedophilia and corrupting a minor. It's so weird how a man can marry a girl, and I mean, they're girls. These are girls. It's crazy that a family can even sign off on it, and it's crazy that it can even happen in the United States. But here we are in 2025. In most states, the majority of American states, it's still legal to do that. In 2025. Not in 1819, but 2025. Where a 15-year-old girl is a girl. That's unbelievable. But is why we have people like Trump doing the things he does. This enablement is scary. And I guess Quiet Pig is going to go quietly into the news cycle, because next week will be Thanksgiving, or we'll blow it off. It won't be a big deal. Anybody really care. As Jeff Tiedrick says every week, how much he would pay a reporter to challenge Trump. And yet nobody from the major press will. That says everything you need to know about the United States right now. Up against our second break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers on the Truck after these messages. Hey y'all, this is Jetty with Two Queers in a Truck, and Christian's along with me, and we're just having fun, and we're looking forward to the 2025 season, and super excited. We have some neat things going on in our whole family of shows, including Coffee and Pan Dulce, and many new shows that are brewing. Get it, and we are excited for 2025 and all the chicanery and other things that comes with it. So happy New Year, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo.
Hi, everybody. This is Yorense from the Americo show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA. Go to your nearest homeless shelter. Go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities, by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. Be knowledgeable of it, because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And three, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people die to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who restored normity, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yorense again from Americo, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism, and have a wonderful day.
And I kind of want to go to some lighter news. I don't want to talk about Trump all the time. And I want to talk about diet culture in the United States. Meghan Trainor, the All About the Bass singer, British singer, she has been criticized for being too thin. She went on one of the Ozempic type drugs. I think it was the other one. I don't think it was Ozempic, but she lost a ton of weight. And not to make fun of saying it, but she looks dramatically different. She looked great before. She looks great now. And she did it because she got diagnosed with diabetes. And so she went on had gestational diabetes when she was pregnant. She had a baby. They wanted her doctor to put her on the meds after she had the child. And she is noticeably thinner. I don't know how much weight she lost. It doesn't matter to me. But she did it to get healthy. And she was always kind of, people joked about weight when she was overweight, or what is considered overweight. And now she's real thin. She's taking flack again for being too, quote unquote, too thin. Her face is, a lot of people are saying her face is too thin. And I've seen a recent picture, and I think she looked fine. I think she looked about the same as she did before. It's her face. But we're really caught up in diet culture, and I know in the LGBT community, there's a lot of, especially amongst gay men, there's a big thing about diet culture, and and we've had people die of anorexia in this country and bulimia and all this, and it's kind of a serious thing, but it's also kind of one of these things that you have to just go, man, especially women. But even certain kinds of men, there's so much pressure to look a certain way. And I kind of bring this up because this is the day before Thanksgiving, and a lot of people are about to put the feed bag on tomorrow, and I don't want you to be self-conscious. Like, my message is the opposite: is go enjoy yourself. It's the holiday season. This is the time to maybe have that extra slice of pie, maybe that second helping of turkey or whatever you're going to indulge in on your Thanksgiving Day. I usually make enchiladas on Thanksgiving Day because I usually make my specialty Thanksgiving enchiladas, But you bring it up because, we're in the holiday season and there's usually chocolate candies and, sweets and, a lot of our holidays are based around food parties or consuming alcohol like New Year's Eve. And I think it's one of those things that it's a tightrope. It's a very tightrope that we walk as humans, is only for us personally, because I've also battled the battle of the bulge many, many times. And my weight's been up and down for the last 20 years of my life. And, when I was younger, I was, super athletic and fit. And, in fact, I was in good shape through my early 40s. And then my weight, since I've gone on hormones, has really yo-yoed a lot. And so I know what Megan Trainor's feeling is there many, especially people that are very estrogen dominant, struggle with their weight for so many reasons. But dang it, I tell people all the time, you don't destroy yourself on Thanksgiving. You gotta also live in this world too. And you gotta have a few snacks, a few cookies, with TV, and you gotta also enjoy it as well. Maybe you shouldn't have two packages of cookies at a time. But you probably should eat 20 or 30 cookies at a sitting, but somewhere in between 1 and 50. But we got to have fun during Thanksgiving. It's a food holiday. It's a food party. And we shouldn't even notice Megan Trainor's weight. It shouldn't even be a topic of discussion, but there was news articles actually written about it recently. And I just, it kind of irked me a little bit because I typically see this written about mostly women.
Yeah,
that
you
women
don't hear it saying.
You never hear a criticism of a man being too thin.
Mm-mm.
Maybe the shocking weight loss of Matthew McConaughey when he did that one movie about the Dallas Buyers Club and
yeah.
And maybe because he get really thin for the role.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you don't really see men having to go through that. There's been many times George Clooney's lost a lot of weight just because he's getting older and he's getting that little old man body. And he's really, really thin looking nowadays. Like, he's really, really thin, almost to the point of looking a little unhealthy himself. But you're never going to hear somebody call out a George Clooney or Matthew McConaughey or Christian Bale or somebody that's lost a lot of weight for a role or just is aging. And, a lot of us thin out when we get older. And or maybe we had health problems and we need to lose weight, but Megan Trainor did it to lose weight for health reasons. It wasn't for vanity reasons. She broke into the music scene curvy. She was a curvy, she was healthy, but she was curvy. She was not a 90-pound girl. And women have curves. And she had them, and she looked great. She's always looked great. And a woman's weight should not decide what they look like. I like a man with a few extra pounds. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And we unless you look like Trump. Now, you talk about it. Ironically, him calling somebody a piggy is like, dude, somebody should be saying that to you, quiet little piggy. He looks like a friggin' hog at feeding time, it looks like he's about to go to the slaughterhouse. Dude hadn't seen his feet in 30 years. If he stands up, there's nothing, he's going to see nothing but gut. Which is weird that he ever makes a comment that's even indicative of somebody's body weight. Mm-hmm. It's like, read the room, look in a mirror, dude. I guess my last point is, and I'm going to make it real quick, I only have about 2.5 minutes left, are we at the point of a revolution? maybe not a French Revolution where we're going to storm the Bastille and cut people's heads off, or the Russian Revolution where they killed everybody in the Russian royal family. One cousin, I think, escaped to the West. But are we at the point where we're going to see a political revolution? Was this November the beginning of a very progressive, very socialist revolution in politics? Have people had enough? Or was it just a fart in the wind? Is it going to dissipate as fast as it came in? And who knows? Time's only going to tell that. You know, staying power of any political movement is only written in the history books. We won't really know until next year and then 2 years after that. The next two elections, 2026 and 2028, will define that answer. And I don't have it for you. You guys have it. You guys decide. As of right now, we still have a democracy. Clearly, we were this month. Will we be that next year? And we decide that. As far as I know, we still can decide that until further notice. It takes participation and it takes intentionality. And we all have to participate. We all need to participate, no matter what the outcome is, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. The outcome doesn't necessarily define us. The effort defines us. And that's what I want to see. If we do our best and we still lose, I just feel like in 2024 we did do our best. 18 million Democrats stayed home. They were voted in the previous presidential election. And we all know why. That time in 2020, a white man was running. So we need to participate in democracy. Democrats, progressives, leaning people, socialists, liberals, and especially the LGBT community. We need to do better. I'm talking to our fellow queers, and most of us are progressive and leaning. You guys need to kick it in gear. And we need to make a very strong point in the next year's election. Got to show up. Just show out. And by the way, tomorrow, have that extra piece of pie. And just intelligent too. Okay. Enjoy life while we still can. Y'all have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Safe out there. Make some good choices. And we will see you next week on the flip side of the month. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye-boo.
Bye-boo. Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching and listening to our show. As always, the two queers in the truck. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody. It's actually one of my least favorite holidays, but this I've got a love in my life, and so I get to celebrate for the first time with her. And but you guys go out and enjoy it, you know, and have that extra slice of pie, that extra helping of mashed potatoes. It's all good. You don't die because of that. You know, maybe a few years later. But anyway, just kidding. But have fun. Be safe out there. Safe travels. Watch for weather storms and things like that. And most of all, happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of y'all that continue to participate with the great show. Bye. Bye, boo.
Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.